You're rocking with the best. Thoughts of the week. Let's go.
what's good? What's good? What's good? How's everybody doing? What's going on? Put the camera this way a little bit. I don't know, man. It's been rough. It's been real rough. It's been really rough. You know what I mean? I've been trying to get this particular episode begun, and there's been nothing but issues going on. And I'm using the light stream. I don't know, man. I might end up having to do this over again, but maybe not. Maybe not. All right. Gonna try something else. Try something a little bit different. I'm gonna see something real quick here. So look at the camera real quick. I'm just looking at a monitor real quick, a small monitor. Let me see what's going on here. There's some slight delay. And I just want to check some things out right quick. Might just have to do some improvising today. All right. Okay. So, yeah, first of all, let me say this. It's been a rough, I don't know how many hours, and hopefully this video doesn't jump. And I'm periodically looking at the monitor. I probably should turn the volume up a little bit just in case. But I've tried an app. I don't know if I should call out the app's name, but I tried two apps, matter of fact, to go on live with two different apps on my phone. There's been issues with that. All right. From yesterday, roughly around this time, and last night, I tried again because I had some things to do, so I end up not recording during the day that I was going to record. And normally Tuesdays is the day I do the live shows on Thoughts of the Week. And so I thought I'd try it last night, even though I didn't, I was having issues with it during the day. And so I thought I'd try it last night, try the app again. And then there was some issues with the app again. And so I said, man, I was getting tired. I was like, man, I'm going to try it again tomorrow. So at 12:45, I actually tried to get started again with the same app. And matter of fact, I might just talk about the app on another platform, another Facebook page of mine, Norwood Ventures. So you guys want to hear me talk about these two particular apps I was trying to use. Yes, well, today I was trying to use the second one, both of those, but yesterday I was trying to use one. And so things didn't work out with that. And what was I saying? I know last night I tried to use this one particular app because I thought it was a cool app. It was working pretty good and doing things I liked on previous recordings I did. So I said, well, let me use it again. Let me play with it again. And so yesterday around this time, the app was messing up. I don't know if it was a Wi-Fi connection. I don't know if something's going on in the airwaves and it's messing things up. But yeah, the app was messing up. So I said, well, I tried it again at night. Still problems. Today around 12:45, I had scheduled to go on live, and I seen that this particular app, you can pick. It gives you choices. You can create a new event, to go live, or you could go to a scheduled event and then you can start from there. So I thought that was even cool about that app. Still having problems. Tried it a couple of times, still having problems. So I said, well, let me use this other app that I've been using. It's been pretty good for me in the past. Started doing that. I tried to do the multi-stream on that. If y'all might know what I'm talking about if you listen to my previous videos when I'm talking about multi-stream, the particular app I use. And so I tried to use that app for the multi-stream, then to try to go on Facebook and YouTube together. And I was getting issues with that. So I said, well, let me just do one or the other using the same app. I tried to do the same thing again, just using one of the platforms. I went to YouTube first, having issues. It started playing good or recording live good. Then there was some issues. So, and then I said, well, let me do Facebook because I hadn't gone on Facebook lives in a while. I normally would do YouTube, and then I would put my videos up on Facebook later, and then also the other podcast platforms. I will put the audio up at a later time. But trying to do it on Facebook problem. So I said, well, let me just go to my laptop and try to go live there as the last resort. Then I remembered there's a website that I can go on live, and let me try that. And so far, from what I can see looking at my phone, everything is going good. So just give me a second here. Okay. So far, I mean, using this website, I'm on live now with you guys. Hopefully things will continue to function properly. Now, I might also talk about this particular website that I'm using to go live as well. It's an alternative to OBS because there's one thing that's still not seeming to function right. And so I might get back with them like I did before. They was pretty responsive as far as when I was telling them things was not working like they should, and they were pretty good with trying to come to some resolve as far as telling me the next time I go on live to let them know, so in case something happens right then and there, they can probably look at things and fix it. But I hadn't gone on live since that time. And so I decided now, let me try this site first to go on live. And if things mess up this time, then I'm just going to try another alternative. I'm just going to go directly either with the YouTube app or the Facebook app itself and go on live that way. And then just, turn the camera to things I need to point out about stuff. And if that didn't work, I would do YouTube first. Then that messed up, I would go to Facebook. If that messed up, I think I probably was going to try to go do the same thing on the laptop. And if those two things messed up, then there would be no show. So even with me saying that, it's making me think like, what if, those what ifs and plan for those what ifs, right? So, which was the actual something I was going to talk about probably on another page or channel of mine on Facebook or YouTube in regards to, planning for things that can possibly happen in the future. And so I might not even talk too much about it here, but, just thinking, like I said, what if everything did shut down like that and you wanted to go live? How would you actually do it? How many ways can you figure out? And I just named a few ways. I tried apps, I tried laptops, I'm trying this now with the website, and so that I'm using to go live. And like I said, so far it's working, but what if all this stuff didn't work? What would be the alternative? Probably the alternative would be to use my phone to just record everything I was going to say if I wasn't going to be on camera live, and then just upload those to the podcast platforms. That would probably be the only alternative. And then upload the audio or one of the podcast shows to maybe the Facebook page, and then that might be the only way to do it, to get it out there. But so with that being said, so far so good. Everything is working fine, and I'm pretty satisfied thus far that everything is working. And so I'm going to play around with these things here, and hopefully they will work like they should. And so today, what I wanted to talk to you about, today's real hot topics. Some of the topics you might have heard of it talked about, but I'm going to come revisit it from a different angle, and kind of present it that way from a different angle. And yeah, like angles. You guys excuse me for a bit. I'm just trying to get things to work in here. Let's see. All right, there we go. So, yes, ladies and gentlemen, you are watching Thoughts of the Week. And we're going to get started, man. All right, we're just going to get things popping right now.
You're now rocking with the best. Thoughts of the Week.
Most definitely. All right, so let me just adjust some things right now. All right. And let me just see something really fast. Hopefully everything is popping like it should. There you go. I like that. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to show you guys a video. We're going to talk about several topics. Today, right now, I'm going to talk about the B.I.E versus the W.I.E. That is the Black identity extremists versus the white identity extremists. And I came across this video a while back, actually looking for something else. Right? Actually looking for something else. And when I was looking for another video, like I said, I came across this one. So I thought, this is something that needs to be shown and told. I don't know how many people actually seen it or not. And so I thought it would be very interesting for you guys to see. All right. It'll be very, very interesting for you guys to check out. Okay. All right. And so this first video, I'm going to go ahead and play it. I think you find it very interesting. So here it is. All right. And then we'll talk about it on the side.
Here. Between 19... 1956 and 1971, the FBI ran a counterintelligence program named COINTELPRO that was initiated by J. Edgar Hoover. COINTELPRO mainly targeted civil rights leaders such as Martin Luther King, and it's commonly understood that this was an abuse of its surveillance power in a manner to suppress a peaceful movement. So I would like to ask Mr. Chair unanimous consent to enter this report into the record, which is Black identity extremists likely motivated to target law enforcement officers. I believe earlier you said you were not familiar with the report. Is that correct?
Well, I haven't read it. I know some of the alleged targeting of officers by
Okay, so I would like to know, and I'll ask you about that in a minute. So you are somewhat familiar with it. Who had the power in your department to order a report like this?
I'm not sure how that report got ordered. I don't believe I explicitly approved it or directed it.
Okay, so you haven't necessarily read the report, but you are familiar with the term Black identity.
Well, I think so, yes.
So can you tell me what that term means to you? Do you believe that there is a movement of African Americans that identify themselves as Black identity extremists, and what does that movement do?
Well, it'd be interesting to see the conclusions of that report. But I'm aware that there are groups that do have an extraordinary commitment to their racial identity, and some have transformed themselves even into violent activists.
Are you aware of white organizations that do this as well? Given that white supremacy is well-documented, well-researched movements such as the neo-Nazis, the Ku Klux Klan, etc., are they white identity extremists?
I didn't follow that question, please, again.
Is there a term or a report on white identity extremists? You mentioned you were familiar with Black people who identify with their racial identity.
Yes, but it's not coming to me at this moment.
Not coming to you?
It's
certainly a group such as the Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah, and then the skinhead movements, but there's racial identity white movements that have been identified for
So
sure.
has the FBI done a report on white identity extremists that are likely motivated to target law enforcement officers?
I'm not aware of that.
Okay. Are you aware of a group called the Sovereign Citizens?
I've heard that group,
And
yeah.
I believe that the Sovereign Citizens is primarily a white organization that absolutely has targeted police officers and killed police officers. You're not aware of that?
I'm not aware of all their crimes, but I know they're a group that's known to have violent tendencies.
Could you name an African-American organization that have committed violent acts against police officers? Could you name one today? In this report, they name organizations from 30, 40 years ago, but can you name of one today that has targeted police officers in a violent manner?
I believe I could, but I would want to be, to confirm that and submit it to you in writing. But I believe we had, within the last year or so, 4 police officers killed by a group that some have described as extremists.
So what has happened is that there have been a couple of incidents in which African Americans did kill police officers who were not associated with a Black organization. And so one, for example, in Baton Rouge was associated with Sovereign Citizens, which is primarily a white group. So you should know that there's a lot of concern in the community, especially from organizations such as Black Lives Matter. By the way, would you consider Black Lives Matter a Black identity extremist group?
I'm not able to comment on that. I have not so declared it.
So you should know that a lot of activists around the country are very concerned that we're getting ready to repeat a very sad chapter of our history, where people who are rightfully protesting what they consider to be an injustice in their community, which is their relationship with police officers, are now being targeted and labeled as extremists and are going through periods of surveillance and harassment. And so I would like to know, what is your department going to do to protect the rights of average citizens to protest if they have a concern about police officers?
This department will not unlawfully target people.
So if that's the case, then I would ask that you review this report, Black Identity Extremists Likely Motivated to Target Law Enforcement Officers, because I personally don't believe that any such organizations exist. The organizations that are referred to in this report are organizations from decades ago. And so I would like to know, what will you do to essentially roll back what is listed in this report? Because it's not accurate.
We will look at the report. I actually would be interested in reading it. But they usually do an excellent job, objective and fair on those kind of reports.
Okay, well,
Time of the gentlewoman has expired.
So y'all check that out, right? Very interesting. This goes back to, I don't know if it was 2017 or 2016, where they had that report that there was some black identity extremist group and they were targeting police and this and that. And Ms. Bass seemed to contradict that and pointing out things like in this report, they were naming old like black groups from 30 years ago and trying to front them off like that's what's going on right now. And of course, Sessions, I think he's out now, but you've seen the games he was playing up there, laughing at times, and then not either appearing or not really knowing what was going on and couldn't give good answers as to, you know, what's up with this report, what's really going on with it, who approved it, who gave the okay. And he was pretty much trying to, without him talking about or revealing anybody, and of course, without probably implicating himself, he brushed it off to, well, I got to go check it out. Pretty much he said he didn't give the okay. So somebody apparently approved it. But of course, he didn't say. And I guess it was asked, but not asked like right after he said that. She should have said, well, who gave the okay then? And his answer was like, well, I'll check into it. I'm not too familiar with the information. I'm somewhat familiar. And so basically what it boils down to is, like a lot of people were saying, even people inside the government and probably more quiet people probably in the FBI have even mentioned like, yo, what's really going on? This is a joke. There's no such group out there that's out there targeting police. And yet you keep seeing these incidences of white guys continuing to go on and doing a lot of stuff. And it's getting to the point where it's looking like a group. And they're kind of doing their one-offs. It's like when you try to get into a gang or something and you got to do these different things to get in. And then once you're in, I guess they get you doing some more stuff. All right. So I wanted to show you guys that because I don't know how many people were aware of this was on PBS, or at least PBS was showing some of it. And there's actually a few other videos where Miss Bass is asking other members, I guess, that are under Sessions to try to get some answers. And everybody's just juggling around with what the truth really is, right? So much for that. So much for that. I thought that was pretty interesting, to say the least. What's going on here? Okay, there we go. I thought it was pretty interesting, to say the least. And so with that being said, let's go on to some other hot topics. I just wanted to start that off with y'all to see what y'all think. You know, if you had anything to say about that in particular. And so we're going to talk about London Lamar and Cindy-Hyde Smith. All right. I think Lamar recently won in Tennessee. I think part of the Senate, some part of government. She's pretty young. I think she might be in her 20s. And she had made a statement because she's representing Tennessee, and she made a statement in the form of, and I'll show you guys a video here in a sec, but she made a statement that people got all upset about, and started blasting her about it. But yeah, it always seems odd that when you play around with the racial thing, and when a certain race says something, everybody tries to jump on that person's case. But then when another person makes a racial comment from another race, it just seems to get glossed over and everything turns into a joke or a bad situation. So real quick, I'm gonna show this video. And when we what I'm gonna do here is pull up this video. There we go. And this video is going to be of London Lamar. And then I'm going to show you another video after that. I hope I got it. Let me make sure here. Well, first of all, let's look at this one from London Lamar, okay? So you guys can get what I'm talking about here.
But, you know, looking here in Tennessee, let's just call a spade a spade. Tennessee's racist, period. Period. Like, Tennessee's racist. And if you for one moment thought that white people in Tennessee were going to leave their own to jump over here and give us more access, they just told you last night it's not happening. It's not happening. And so I think that for us, first of all, this is a lesson to all our statewide political consultants candidates. The black vote, which most Democrat and 90% rate, is not to be used as an end, period. It's also a lesson to let political consultants know that pandering to Republicans to win is a losing strategy. Like, they're not going to leave their own. They are not going to support you over their own. They are not going to press the Democrat or hard. It's no point. And so I think that what we've been saying for so long is that, and we should have learned this in 2016, obviously we ain't learned yet, that when you don't cater to your own people, that you will lose. And I think that, overall, like, catering to Republicans this whole election season failed. And I think that in Tennessee, what we need to do is become more confident in our democratic values and work on turning out our own people. So if we look at some of the numbers last night, white men voted Republican well over 60 or 70%. So obviously, that's a particular base of people who believe in superiority. Like, they don't believe in sharing their wealth. They don't believe in sharing resources. They believe that you need to work for your own. And they went to the polls and voted. White women. Over half of white women still voted against their own interests. Let me make this very clear. Over half of white women still voted against their own interests. They put Marshall Library in office who don't even think you deserve equal pay. Like, what is that? Like, you have a U.S. senator now representing Tennessee who doesn't believe women deserve equal pay. And women voted for her. That's problematic. Secondly, they voted a guy named B.I.E. for governor. Someone I have to work with in the state legislature. B.I.E. throughout his campaign talked about supporting vouchers will put public funds for education and give them to private schools. he believes women's issues are divisive. He also believes in putting private money into public businesses. Those are the things he talked about. When we talked about family care, expanded healthcare access, he said he was not going to expand Medicaid and Medicare. Any access to healthcare won't be expanded. And Tennesseans have to vote. Most of the Tennesseans who voted Republican are uneducated. So they don't even know that they showed up to the polls to vote against their own interests. They literally voted on colored lines. In Tennessee, we voted based on race. Not that any of our statewide candidates were black or a minority. It was the fact that they were going to support issues that help uplift the minority community. And that's what they voted against. So for me, I think I'm saying it all today. I'm very excited about my win. We've been pretty much celebrating this win since August, right? There is over here. I just want other people to realize what's going on in Tennessee right now. I think that we as a community, especially as a black community, we need to start organizing amongst ourselves. We need to start building up our own candidates and propelling them to represent our city on a higher scale. I also think that we need to stop acting like we post-racial American people. We are not. Tennessee is racist. Like, these people, I don't want to say these white people in Tennessee have voted against you. And not just a little bit, but a lot of it. We talk about racism. It is not taboo. And it's not something that you can say, oh, it's people not racist. This is that. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And I want y'all to know that it's okay to openly let folks know they are racist, and they are supporting racist candidates. And I think y'all need to be very clear on who your candidates are and what their stances are. And I think we need to start calling them out. Point blank simple. Democrats, if you're going to be a Democrat, be a Democrat. Don't pander to Republicans. Don't try to do all this other stuff. They're not going to support you. And we know that. They think they own. They are loyal. They are loyal. So let's be loyal to our own.
All right. So before I say anything about that, let's just take a look at another video, and then we can kind of discuss the situation. Because I could talk about it now, but I just hold off, and then, like I said, we can always come back to it. All right. So here's the second video. Let's see here if we can get this one going here. All right. Now, here's a video regarding Cindy-Hyde. You all heard what London Lamar said. Basically, she was saying, although she won, she was acknowledging that, Tennessee is racist. It has a racial problem. And then she said some other things after that. Now, there's some things that I think and it might be because she's young, because later on she came back and gave a statement saying, she's just like everybody else. People started young and they make mistakes and say things here and there. So she kind of backtracked a little bit. But and still people were going, getting in on her and everything like that, regardless. But I haven't heard too many people, and maybe I missed it, but I haven't heard too many people say anything what this next lady said, and that's Cindy-Hyde Smith. And I'm going to play that for you now.
There is only one Senate race left in the nation, I promise.
It's the runoff election in Mississippi set for next Tuesday between the incumbent appointed Republican Senator Cindy-Hyde Smith and the challenger, former Democratic Congressman and Secretary of Agriculture Mike Espy. Now, this was supposed to be a pretty easy race for Hyde Smith, a Republican running in a deep South state that Trump won by 18 points. But then Hyde Smith started running into some trouble of her own making. She was caught on camera saying it's a great idea to make it harder for liberal folks to vote. She was found to have posed in the Confederate soldier's hat holding a gun, and she made this really unbelievable comment in a state where more than 600 black people were killed in lynchings, more than in any other state. Vouching for her friend there, saying if he invited me to a public hanging, I'd be in the front row. That comment crossed the line for a number of companies, including Walmart, which asked for its campaign donations back. And so now the bizarre scene that took place last night in the one and only debate between Senate candidates. This was no ordinary debate. The Jackson Free Press reported that Hyde Smith demanded no audience and no press be present. That the debate would be organized by the Mississippi Farm Bureau Federation, whose top board members have all donated to Hyde Smith. But the craziest detail involved the notepads the candidates were supposed to use to take notes during the debate. Hyde Smith's campaign demanded access to their notepad an hour early, and they appear to have used it as a cheat sheet, just like fill it up with notes for her to look at. Check out these huge piles of notes in front of Hyde Smith versus the one small stack in front of SP. Hyde Smith repeatedly looked down at her notes throughout the debate, though at times it didn't really seem to help too much.
Tonight, you have heard two clearly different, opposite differences between me and my opponent.
She also relied on her notes in making a stilted apology for the public hanging comment.
You know, for anyone that was offended by my comments, I certainly apologize. There was no ill will, no intent whatsoever in my statements.
Mike Espy, the Democrat, African-American, said the damage had been done.
I don't know what's in your heart, but we all know what came out of your mouth. It was viral within the first 3 minutes around the world. And so it's called outstate harm. It's giving us another black eye that we don't need. It's just rejuvenated the old stereotypes that we don't need anymore.
Joining me now, Jackson Free Press reporter Ashton Pittman, one of the two reporters who broke the story of Hyde Smith's debate demands. Also, the president and CEO of the NAACP, Derek Johnson, who previously led the NAACP Mississippi State Conference. Let me start with you, Ashton. Give me some background on how this debate came about and how the Hyde Smith people negotiated for it.
So for months, both Mike Espy and Chris McDaniel, who was a Republican opponent before the November 6th general, have been asking her for a debate. She repeatedly refused. First, she said that she didn't want to debate because, or she couldn't debate because of her Senate schedule. But then when the Senate went on recess, she said, well, actually, she didn't want to debate because she thought McDaniel's supporters might come and be rude and boo her if it had a live audience. So the day after the November 6th election, she apparently spoke with Farm Bureau, and by Thursday morning she put out a press release saying she had agreed to this debate. And when I called the Mike Espy campaign that morning after the press release, they had not even seen the rules of the debate or seen the terms, so they hadn't accepted it, but she accepted it immediately. So I'm assuming, she must have already talked to them about what those terms would be, but the Espy campaign did not even know the terms at the time she accepted.
Derek, talk a little bit about how you're viewing this as someone who did civil rights work in that state, an African-American candidate, and Hyde Smith in this race, which should be a walk for her given the kind of conservative voting habits of that state.
Well, her actions, her statement is consistent with the racialized political nature of Mississippi. If you use race, religion, or region, you can get voters to vote against their interests. The statement she made, her posing for pictures with Confederate artifacts on, the nature by which she had the conversation dealing with vote suppression is a true indicator of her character, but not unusual for Mississippi. Mississippi. Unfortunately, race is a tool that is oftentimes weaponized to turn out a very conservative base.
Yeah, let me follow up on that. I think there's a lot of people watching this saying, is this hurting her? There was an internal poll that got leaked that had her at 5 points. Do you think the kind of campaign she's run and the...
All right, that's enough on that. They're going to go into their own little semantics. But I thought it was real interesting from both. They jump on the London Lamar, young black woman, and she made some comments. And if you want to be honest, you know, that's what it's all about, true honesty. Can you say that whether it's Tennessee or any state for that matter, you're going to tell me that there is no city or state in the United States where people aren't racist, don't have a racist mindset, don't have racist practices? Are you really going to tell me or anybody else that those type of people don't exist at all? Right? I mean, if you're going to be honest and realistic, right? Are you going to tell me that there's no people that exist in this, just talking about the United States alone? Are you going to be that naive to say that there is nobody whatsoever in Tennessee, because that's where we're talking about here, with London Lamar? In any state, you got Mississippi, where we're talking about Cindy-Hyde Smith in Mississippi, right? And are you not going to be realistic and tell me that there aren't racist people in every city? Now, because London Lamar lives in Tennessee, or she's done things in Tennessee, and she apparently has seen the racism going on in there, she made those statements. Now, I think, like I said, she came back later and said, you know, I guess the paraphrase, that she shouldn't have said it, made it so broad, like everybody, like the whole state, because obviously that's not the case. But you can't go around saying that Tennessee, Mississippi, if you want to go up north and go Illinois or go to New York or go to Maine or wherever, that you're not going to find people with that racist mindset. So she's not off. Only thing she's off, if you want to say she's off, which that's not really off, but she said herself that maybe she shouldn't have just kind of broadened it like that. But my thing is this: the people who are getting upset, if you know that you're not, then why get upset about it? You should already have your mind saying, oh, you know, she ain't talking about me because that's not how I roll. That's not how I think. I don't agree with racist practices, racist mindsets. So apparently the ones who got upset are the ones who are exactly what she said. Plain and simple, right? And so, let me see here real quick. So with that being said, let me go on to, we're going to talk about Cindy-Hyde Smith before I go on. Now, she said that if she was invited to a public hanging, she will be in the front row. And so going back to what I just said, there are racist people with a racist mindset, and some will practice that racism. And here you got somebody, I think she won, she ended up winning, and now she's going to be in that Mississippi government displaying this racial mindset, right? She's going to display that racial attitude. Now, the black people got something to worry about, just like when the white people were so upset with London. And again, like I said, the ones who were upset with her are more than likely had that mindset. Because if you didn't, you wouldn't even worry about it. You would think, oh, it's not talking to me. Now, when it came to Cindy-Hyde Smith, I'm sure some people got upset, but I didn't see that get blown and people were outraged and this and that. I didn't hear even about too many black people being upset. But this is a state, Mississippi, where you had your lynchings going on there. And she had enough nonsense to go on and make a comment like that. And yet she's going to be in the Mississippi state government in some way, form, or fashion. Right? And there was no push for her to leave or resign right away or whatever laws you can participate in to remove somebody right away. Nothing spoke of it. And then you just get people debating on whether or not she should have said this, she shouldn't have said that. And it kind of gets brushed away. It's kind of it's interesting when you look at it, to say the least. It's very, very interesting. And so what I'm going to show you guys now is another video here shortly. I'm taking it that the folks in South America have made their way to the borderlines of America. And this was on, I think this was on Sunday, or the footage is from Sunday, where you finally got to see some things go down with the South Americans, I guess you can say, or Central America. South, in the central South of America, South America. And it's a video of that. And then we'll talk about it here in a few. All right, so let me get this video set up real quick. And make sure everything is good. And I want to shout out to Lightstream, because so far so good. Everything is working on the live. Since I had so much issues with the apps I was using earlier today, or tried to use some last night as well. And I was having so much issues with that, man. And if you guys just give me a few minutes, a few seconds to get everything in place, I will play this couple of videos here. All right, so let me go on to the videos real quick and pull up this one. Let me see, which one should I pull up first? Oh, hold on, let me see here. Let me pull up. Let me see which one this is real quick. Yeah, this is another video from regarding Cindy-Hyde real quick. All right.
We turn to
The race for Senate in Mississippi. A runoff election set for this Tuesday. Major League Baseball, the latest donor to Republican Senator Cindy-Hyde Smith, money back after a series of controversial statements she's made, putting her with Confederate items. And tonight, a new controversy over where she and her daughter went to school. Here's ABC's David Wright.
Republican Cindy-Hyde Smith, the first woman ever to represent Mississippi in Congress. Congress is once again taking heat for where she appears to stand on the state's racist past. The latest controversy exposed this weekend when the Jackson Free Press reported she went to high school at an all-white segregation academy
and published
this yearbook photo. Years later, she sent her daughter to a similar school. Hyde-Smith's campaign calls the allegations a new low. This after a separate photo came to light on her own Facebook page. The Republican senator seen here wearing a Confederate Army cap at the home of Jefferson Davis. The caption, Mississippi history at its best. And there's a video of her joking with a supporter.
Hyde-Smith later apologized.
There was no ill will, no intent whatsoever.
After the video went viral, several corporations asked her to return their campaign donations.
How embarrassing is Cindy-Hyde Smith?
Democrat Mike Ashby is hoping to become the state's first black senator since Reconstruction. He has walked a fine line, calling Hyde-Smith out while trying not to alienate rural white voters.
I don't know what's in your heart, but we all know that it's given us a black guy that we don't need.
Republicans normally don't have to worry about Mississippi, but because of the race issues, Ashby's voters are motivated. The president's now headed down to Mississippi to make sure his voters turn out too. Tom?
All eyes on Mississippi, that election set for Tuesday.
All right.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.
So that was a real brief one right there. And so I'm glad I played that one because there was another point to be made. A couple of points. There also, I guess where she had that debate, she I guess some notes was written for her. I guess there was some planning behind the scenes and she was able to get some notes. And I always found it interesting that if you were an honest person and you didn't mean something, why you got to read off notes or a teleprompter instead of speaking from what's really in your heart, what's really in your mind, really, not the heart. It's your heart doesn't think. But if what was really in your mind and you know you felt a certain way or you believe a certain way, you could have spoke from the mind, right? Which is also known as the heart, by the way. But you could speak from the mind, from your really true notes, and you would stumble what you were reading, right? Thought I had a video actually, because they play a show her stumbling, but it was one that was where it was more deeper in depth as far as her talking and calling herself a so-called apologize, which wasn't one at all. And she had to read from papers, from notes. If you know you really feel a certain way or you believe a certain way, you should be able to verbalize that from within, right? And so people can read that a mile away that, you know, that was a bunch of garbage. She wasn't real about it. And that's obvious, right? And so that's one point. Like I said, you might have to go look up some videos and check it out and see the video I'm talking about where they really show her having a debate when she was reading from her notes. And you can't even read from your notes and be honest with even reading from your notes and she actually stumbled and messed up. That's not even a good look. And yet she's going to be representing some cities or the whole state. And there's black people in the state. I don't know what to tell you. But there was another point that I'm glad, reason why I played that second video, because I had forgot about that. And that was the companies that the company that supported Cindy-Hyde Smith, and they wanted their money back after the comment. So as long as she didn't make the comment, but I'm sure you already knew that she was like that. And yet they wanted to put money into her campaign anyway. So what I'm doing right now is pulling up some video. I mean, not video, but a news article showing you some of these companies that are down for, if it ain't the Republicans, they're for certain specific people, all right? So I want y'all to check this out real quick. Check this out. Back panel there of me doing this live. I want y'all to take a look at this, man. Take a look at this. Sometimes it's funny how when you kind of on a side note, but it's kind of funny when you're trying to show some stuff and it freezes or funny things start happening to where you aren't able to show it. It's almost like it makes you wonder if somebody's really messing with, in this case, your computer to see, you know, so you won't put out certain information, because then you'll wake up people if you do. But I wanted to show you guys this right here. Hyde Smith offered an apology to anyone that was offended by her hanging remark during her sole public debate with SB, who is African American, last week, but that hasn't stopped Walmart and others to request that her campaign refund their donations. So I wanted to show you guys the different people that wanted to put money on her, or put money on her books, if you will. All right, put money on her books. So we have Major League Baseball put money on Cindy-Hyde's books. All right. The organization said Sunday it is asking Hyde Smith to return a $5,000 donation made on Friday. The contribution was made in connection with an event Major League Baseball asked to attend. And Major League Baseball spokesperson told USA Today Sports, Major League Baseball had a contribution be returned. Baseball, you know, research them and go deeper and see who in particular is in support of this lady, and probably the Republicans at that. All right. Of course, Walmart was mentioned, $2,000 to them, $2,000 to Hyde Smith. Then you have Union, which didn't, for some reason, this news article didn't give the amount. The railroad owner requested, declaring that it in no way condones or supports divisive or perceived to be divisive statements. Now listen to how the wording is on this. Union Pacific it says the railroad owner. All right, it says the railroad owner requested his money back, declaring, and it should have been saying declaring that he in no way, shape, or form condones or supports divisive or perceived to. Notice the wording on that, right? And then, of course, in scientific, you got Pfizer, you got Amgen. I think that's Boston Pacific gave 2,500, Pfizer gave 5,000, Amgen gave 2,000. This is either called Leidos or Leidos. The doctor has asked for his $1,000 put in 2,000. All right, all these people money on her book want to and said, go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead video. If the video will play, there you go. I guess it's trying to get itself prepped up. Maybe I need to play it, huh? I guess so. And as it's taking its sweet time, here we go. Should be coming up. This is of the people from Central America. Okay, so for you guys who are who listen to the show on the podcast, so apparently you can't see what's going on. So what I was playing is a video of, it looked like more or less you seen a bunch of males than you seen any women. I don't think there was any women in this particular video. From I believe they're from Honduras, and they apparently made it all the way to the U.S. border. And some openings inside, there was some fence were definitely breached, and it probably was due to them pulling on it or whatever. And they were able to start going through this little part in the gate, and nothing but these males. Like I said, I think they're from Honduras, because I'm gonna play another video and in a moment. But these males were going to the fence, doing the fence, and apparently they were getting hit by tear gas and probably dummy rounds or rubber rounds from guns from the Border Patrol. And so when they started hitting them with the tear gas, they started coming back over to the other side, which would be Mexico at this point. And I guess one guy got hit in the hand with either the rubber rounds or dummy rounds, or by one of the tear gas canisters or whatever they shoot with. And so he got hit in the hand and was complaining about it, talking in Spanish. And but like I said, what I noticed, what was kind of interesting, is one of the I guess people supposed to be a Border Patrol. There was somebody in plain clothes, like I can just throw on a t-shirt and some jeans on, and I don't think that person even had a gun in the video. That's kind of odd. And then there was a gentleman who looked like he was in full uniform from a police department, Border Patrol. And then there was a guy who just had some khakis on, a shirt, and just had a green vest on over his shirt, like he just came from the bar and just threw on a vest and carried a gun. I find that very interesting as well. Also, like I said, what's interesting is the fact that in this video it's just males going through the border, and if there was any women, there was very little shown, and even kids. So the majority of these people were on this particular video were males, either grown men or teenagers, and some even younger than that. I just find that real interesting, to say the least. Now, this next video, I think, is in regards to the Mexicans not particularly liking the Hondurans or anybody from further south from them. And you'll check out the video real quick and see what I'm talking about.
No.
The 5,800 U.S. troops sent to the Mexican border to lay razor wire just before the midterm elections are now getting ready to leave the area, just as the caravan of migrants from Central America is arriving.
After weeks journey north, nearly 3,000 Central American migrants have reached Tijuana, Mexico, sheltered in a sports facility facing the U.S. border, with more than 1,000 expected to arrive in the coming days. As shelter space is passing, and with no clear path into the United States, Tijuana could be the end of the line for the Central American caravan.
La mayoría de los mexicanos han sido muy buenos. No me quejo de eso. Han brindado apoyo, comida.
But in Tijuana, the migrants are getting a far reception Have there been incidents, though, where there are people who have been unwelcoming? Have you found that in Tijuana specifically?
Ayer hubo un incidente que se subieron allá a tirar piedras.
Yo estuve cuando fueron a la playa, armaron un grupo de crimen y los mandaron a cargar las piedras de diferente manera, y inclusive la playa a punto de racismo. Son mayores.
Hosting migrants stuck in limbo is nothing new for the people of Tijuana, yet deported Mexicans in the U.S.
Members of previous Central American caravans waiting months in the city to claim asylum in the United States, or even invasion, fleeing the devastation of the 2016 earthquake. But with this caravan, it's different. To some, these migrants, particularly Endurance, pose a unique but new threat.
How do you feel about the Honduran caravan camping out here?
The people that don't like you. They don't like you. Nobody likes you.
What do they say?
They say, fuck Honduras. We're the ones motherfuckers here.
Ellos vienen pensando que van a agarrar un sueño americano que no existe. Entonces, lamentablemente, la gente se va a quedar aquí.
México siempre puede hablar a los centroamericanos. A la migración legal y ordenada. No a las invasiones ilegales. No tienen pasaportes. No dicen
Invasion is an army. Soft invasion. Okay. Interesting. This Sunday, an ad hoc coalition of Not In My Backyard types and outright Mexican nationalists coordinated demonstration. And you think the caravan represents something?
What I do know is that they identify themselves. They didn't do it the right way. And we don't know who they are. And we don't know
because there is a similarity to the rhetoric between what Trump administration.
We have one that thinks it's legal. I think it's similar. We got one more protect our borders.
Aquí acaba la marcha, señores.
This demonstration has marched from the city center to the migrant camp. There is a line of police set up. So what was maybe a peaceful demonstration seems to be canceled. As tensions rise in Tijuana and crime to make their way to the city. Once here, their options seem slim. Stay and live in a city that's growing hostile to their president, while awaiting the unlikely chance to claim asylum in the United States, or attempt to cross into the States illegally through the world's busiest border.
Oh, you got something to the show on platforms. If you can't speak the South Central Americans were through Mexico, and in particular, these folks liking going on. Sound people was wrong of it. And man, it was kind of dude. He was saying like they're not going to know. Obvious to tell, obvious as to. I found it quite to say the least. So let's get back around here real quick. And I got one more thing to go show, and I'm sure everybody is already been aware and heard of this story, right? Everybody has heard of it. It was pretty much a popular story. And it's in regards to the Sentinel. To let you know what happened real briefly, and then I'm gonna try to pull up an article here in a sec, is that if you're not familiar with the North Sentinel Island, it's kind of in the, if I'm not mistaken, the Indian Ocean, an island that's in that particular region near India and all that. And definitely make no mistake about it, these people are African, they're not Indian. You got all types of people verifying this. They've been apparently like over 65,000 years ago when some of them were being, doing some traveling, whatever, they end up in this island, right? And so there was a gentleman who took it upon himself to go to this island, and he figured he was going to go ahead and try to make contact with these people, and they were not having it. All right. They were not having it by a long shot. Well, let me see if I could pull up a video instead, which probably would be a lot better. All right. Let me see here to give you some context. But basically, this man named John Chau, and there's so many stories. That's another thing too. There's so many stories about him that they were saying that kind of contradicts. Let me see here, because there was an article saying that he was just a mere adventurer. He does things like this across the globe, supposedly, or off and on, or how often he does it, right? He supposedly goes on these trips to different places and visits exotic places. He's in one news article or one place they were saying he was just an adventurer. Then they were saying he supposedly wanted to go there on this island to tell them about Jesus Christ, right? So they already got the stories mixed up about who this guy is or who he was, and they trying to make it fit in a narrative to make it look like the Sentinelese people were in the wrong and they shouldn't have killed them and this and that and the other. But basically what happened was, in a nutshell, is that he went to this island, I guess trying to do his missionary duties, supposedly. And once he set foot on there, I think one story is saying that he made it the first time, if I'm not mistaken. Like I said, there's so many stories with this guy. It's almost like they're trying to hide or cover up or try to put him in the best light they can and try to make it look like these black people, once again, even with somebody who doesn't, these group of people who hasn't made contact with any outside, so many, who knows, hundreds or thousands of years, once they got on that island. And supposedly there was, rumors that there were people years ago that were on the island and made contact with them at one point, and then something along the lines of even one guy got on the island and then either kidnapped some of them and then left. And then when this guy took them to some European country to the Sentinelese that he kidnapped got sick, so he ended up sending them back. And so then the Sentinelese people figured, well, we're not going to let this happen again. Somebody going to try to kidnap us or snatch us or do something. And then they bring our people back sick. We don't even need to be around these people. They just make us sick. And then supposedly that was years and years ago. And so since then, they no longer allow people to come on their island, and they dealt with them accordingly, whoever did. And then supposedly was another guy who came in more recent years and supposedly was able to meet with them in the water, and he handed them coconuts, and supposedly they liked that. And they also, I don't know if it's the same guy that gave them like some pigs and something else, but they supposedly buried the pigs, so they didn't either eat that stuff or didn't trust the people or whatever. And so they buried that and whatever else it was, and kept the coconuts. So I'm gonna see if I can find a video here for you guys to check out. And let's see what we got here. Okay, let me see. Let's check out a few of them right quick. You guys can check that out. And for whatever reason, there's some serious delay here. We're going to try to get it together, though. All right. Oops.
Warned against taking. The island was off limits to protect outsiders and the tribe, which has no immunity. 30 American missionary John Chau was warned against taking. The island was off limits to protect outsiders and the tribe, which has no immunity to modern diseases. This morning, investigators are trying to figure out who else might have been involved in that fatal mission. Today, this remote island in the Indian Ocean is the focus of an investigation. Where is American missionary John Chau's body? This morning, 7 people, including fishermen accused of taking him there, are under arrest. More may be under suspicion. Chau was no stranger to exotic adventures, trekking in South Africa, snowshoeing across the Pacific Northwest, diving in the Andaman Sea, curious about the tribes. But his trip to North Sentinel Island in the Andaman Sea was both perilous and illegal. The endangered tribe that lives there, the Sentinelese, has kept their way of life for centuries, rejecting contact with the modern world, known for attacking outsiders. Chau's trip there against the law. This was a dangerous trip both for the missionary and the tribe. It was incredibly dangerous for him and foolhardy things were done, but even more dangerous for the Sentinelese themselves. They are the most isolated tribe on Earth, so they're the most vulnerable in terms of the lack of immunity to common diseases like flu and measles that will decimate the tribe. Journal entries from Chau's last days show that he was well aware of the danger, writing, "I'm scared. If you want me to get actually shot or even killed with an arrow, then so be it. I don't want to die." He wanted to share the love of God with them. That was his whole mission. In another entry, he describes being shot at with bow and arrow, which pierced his Bible, writing, "What? Did a little kid have to shoot me today?" His high-pitched voice still lingers in my head. And a final message to family. Please do not be angry at them or at God if I get killed. Don't retrieve my body. Police have sent a second boat near that remote.
So right quick, I found that kind of interesting to say he wrote a journal. Now, where did he write this journal at? And did he take the journal with him on the island? Because it's some questions to really think about. They're saying he wrote these things in the journal that, hey, I know I got, I could possibly be killed, but yet he still wanted to go on this island, right? Then he was talking about how one of the kids, I guess, threw an arrow into his book, and the kid seemed to be really upset, and he referred to it as being shot. He shot me, or he shot at me. With what? They don't have guns. They keep arrows and spears. That's how they attack people. So what did he get shot with? Okay, another thing that crosses my mind, like I said, again, bringing up the journal he wrote, is this something he wrote prior to going on the island? Did he leave it with somebody? Or did he bring this journal on the island with him? Because how would the news people get a hold of his journal if he was on the island and got killed? And of course, they're not letting anybody go on the island. So that would also mean nobody was able to go there and get his journal and then be able to bring it back. So I got questions about that. That's kind of suspicious. Only thing would make sense is if he wrote these journal entries before going to the island and then maybe left it at a hotel or with the people that were on the boat with him that took him over there to the island. And as you heard earlier, it's illegal. It's illegal to take pictures, and people have been doing that for whoever knows how long. And it's illegal to even go on the island. You can go to jail. And now apparently they said they arrested these fishermen or whoever that brought them over there. So apparently it's illegal to even for you to bring somebody over there close to the island. All of that's illegal. And yet this guy claimed he knew all of this was a fact, and he still decided he was going to go on knowing the dangers of going on that island. And like I said, the early reports, the original reports didn't say he wanted to go on the island to
island on Friday with two of the arrested men who are helping.
The original reports from the early on reports made no mention of him wanting to go on the island to teach him about God or anything like that. They specifically said that he was just an adventurer, like you did hear them say earlier on in this video, that he just goes to different places. He likes to do adventurous stuff. He goes to South Africa. He goes into the mountains in the snow. He went to the Andaman Sea, which is close to the North Sentinel Island. And so now the reports has changed. The stories always change with these folks. In the news, they always change the stories around to kind of fit a narrative and program people in their minds. And like I said, earlier reports, he wasn't even trying to do all that. He was just doing it as an adventure. Now they're saying he's doing it as he was trying to teach them about God and things like that to make him appear a little bit more softer and not like he was going there with an ill intent and to make the Sentinelese people look bad for attacking him. But I'm sure it's widely known, and it's going to be widely known now, that you're not supposed to go over there, because if you go over there, they kill you on sight. They will get you on sight. So anybody watching these videos or checking out this podcast, you now know, do not go to the North Sentinel Island because you will get killed on sight. Don't come up with these excuses that you're going to try to make friends with them. They don't want to deal with you. Supposedly, they've been away from people so many years that even some certain types of contacts, that they get in contact with somebody with a cold, the cold might kill them, or the flu might kill them. Supposedly, but I think they're pretty advanced and probably know how to deal with different germs and stuff. I'm sure they got stuff on that island that can probably cure some stuff, but people don't know that. And I think people are curious and want to go over there and find out. And like you've seen in the videos that they had, the video footage, these people are dark skinned. They are not those Indians that are over there in India. They are Africans. And then historians and everybody has said the same thing. All right. So let's check out another video real quick before we get out of here.
You're now rocking with the best. Thoughts of the week.
So we just counted.
Now to the new details that we're learning about the last days of that American missionary who was murdered on a remote Indian island.
They say he was murdered.
Died at the hands of natives who were armed with bows and arrows. Authorities are now trying to determine if there's a way to recover his body. Searching ABC's Lindsay Day.
Notice the narrative they put out there. You got to be careful and listen to what people say. They putting it like they're making it like it's the Sentinelese fault. He was murdered. No, he wasn't supposed to be there to begin with. He committed an illegal act. John Chau did, and they're not addressing it that way. He illegally went on that island. He wasn't supposed to.
Davis is here with more. Good morning to you, Lindsay. Good morning, Paula. It is illegal to go within 5 nautical miles of this island because the inhabitants are known for aggressive behavior against outsiders. But John Chau,
and she just said it there. It's illegal to go within 5 miles of this island. And then she tried to say because they'll get aggressive. Yeah, why not? If that's their island and you don't want nobody invading it, it's just like another country. You're going to protect yourself, right? So you got to be careful and watch how these people change their narrative to frame your framework and your mindset about certain people.
Authorities are now trying to determine if there's a way to recover his body. Searching ABC's Lindsay Davis is here with more. Good morning to you, Lindsay. Good morning, Paula. It is illegal to go within 5 nautical miles of this island because the inhabitants are known for aggressive behavior against outsiders. But John Chau, an American missionary, told friends he was drawn there to spread the word of God.
So they put him as an American missionary, but earlier they were saying he was a adventurer, not a missionary, but an adventurer. So they changed the narrative again on the guy to put a certain mindset and framework once again. So
ABC's Lindsay Davis is here with more. Good morning to you, Lindsay. Good morning, Paula. It is illegal to go within 5 nautical miles of this island because the inhabitants are known for aggressive behavior against outsiders. But John Chau, an American missionary, told friends he was drawn there to spread the word of God. This morning, new details are emerging about the final days of John Chau, the American missionary believed to have been killed by an endangered tribe on a remote island in the Indian Ocean. In a journal given to the Washington Post by his mother, the 26-year-old who traveled the world preaching Christianity and documenting his travels on Instagram wrote about illegally making contact with the Sentinelese, a small indigenous tribe that has resisted contact with the rest of the world. In that diary, the missionary talks about trying to engage with the tribe, offering them gifts while singing worship songs. But he says the initial contact didn't go well. I'm scared, he writes, watching the sunset, and it's beautiful, wondering if it will be the last sunset I see. Lord, is this island Satan's last stronghold, where none have heard or even had the chance to hear your name? Chau reportedly left the 13-page journal with the fishermen he allegedly paid to take him to the island. Those fishermen were arrested for helping Chau get to the island. Contact with the tribe is illegal. Even after the 2004 tsunami, a member of the tribe was photographed on the beach firing arrows at a helicopter sent to check on their well-being.
His desire was to befriend them. He brought gifts to them, but unfortunately, as we now know, that didn't happen.
In his last journal entries, he appears to struggle with whether to abandon his quest to convert the Sentinelese. I think I could be more useful alive, but to you, God, I give all the glory of whatever happens. Forgive any of the people on this island who try to kill me, especially if they succeed. Despite his apprehension, he did return to the island and was never seen alive again. Fishermen say that they saw his body being dragged and buried. Local authorities believe that he was killed with bow and arrow. But contact with this tribe, actually mentioned in this piece, it's illegal, but for good reason, right? Exactly. They don't have the immune system to be able to basically survive potentially the kind of diseases that outsiders might bring.
And they've had unfortunate encounters with the outside before they reason for hostility.
Lindsay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Hi, everyone.
Now, I found that one interesting as well. Like I said, the comments of the lady, she was like, well, yeah, they'll attack people, right? And then the other guy says, well, it's within good reason. They got a reason to attack because how they've been treated or approached, right? And so let's try this last one real quick. Nah, I'm not gonna do that. All right. And so with that being said, let's try one more video here and see what we can do here. All right, American Skill Tribes, and let's do this one right quick. All right.
Book of the day, the formula, universal law.
You should have already said that. What kind of games are you playing?
Laws of Success. Interesting book. Here's a quick point for.
Do you want the success for your birthday?
He went to meet one of the world's most remote tribes in the Indian Ocean, seeking adventure and apparently also to preach Christianity. But it's a journey that ended in tragedy for 27-year-old American John Chau. Joining me in the studio now to discuss this is our correspondent Ismail Kumar. Ismail, what do we know exactly about what happened to John Chau?
Well, information is a bit sketchy, folks, but we know the fisherman took John Chau to these very remote Sentinel Islands. He tried to make contact with these tribespeople on several occasions. Now, he held a diary, he wrote a diary. We know from his diary entries that he went to the island on one occasion on November the 14th, and he came with bringing fish and a football, and as he came in, he said, I hollered, I love you, and Jesus loves you. But then he saw these tribespeople raise their bow and arrows, and he said then he ran to his kayak and he paddled away for his life. Well, days later, he reattempted this visit, and he got fishermen, again, local fishermen, to bring him near these islands. He took his kayak back. The fishermen observed what was taking place, and they said that they saw John Chau go onto the island. They saw the tribespeople with their bows and arrows, and they started to fire a volley of arrows at him, but he carried on walking. They then saw his body fall, and then they saw the tribespeople, and this is obviously all hearsay, they saw the tribespeople put a rope around his neck and drag his body away. Now, given the remoteness of these islands, the Indian authorities are saying it's not going to be a very easy task to recover his body.
What more do we know about these tribespeople and why perhaps they're so protective of their islands?
Well, there are some four native tribes on the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. These are the most cut off, and they really want to preserve their isolation from the outside world, and they're known to be very ferocious. Back in 2006, some fishermen were moored nearby. Their boat was cast adrift, and it went onto the shores of these islands, and they were also killed. So they're also very vulnerable to disease because they have no contact with the outside world, so they've got no immunity to illnesses like measles and the flu. And we're thinking there's about...
Alrighty, so that's on that. Let me see what this one is about real quick.
He was 27 years old. He was from Washington State to the United States, and he had traveled all over the world as an adventure tourist, but also as a Christian missionary. American tourist John Allen Chau was just 27 years old, and he was killed just a few days ago. One of the world's most fragile tribes, the Sentinelese, on an Indian island called North Sentinel Island in the Andaman and Nicobar chain. But what happens now? The big questions that must be asked. For an island that was off limits and is officially and legally out of bounds for anyone to visit, did this young man have any business going to that island? Was it not an irresponsible act and a foolhardy act that has finally led to his death?
Want to declare Jesus to them. Can't wait to see them around the throne of God. My name is John. I love you. Jesus loves you.
The final words of American adventurer and Christian missionary John Allen Chau on November 15, right before he was captured and killed at India's North Sentinel Island in the Andaman and Nicobar. Using the help of hired fishermen, John, a seasoned traveler, had arrived here at North Sentinel, a tiny forested island that's home to the Sentinelese. A highly fragile tribe with a population of less than 100 that chooses to live totally disconnected from the world's mainstream and has been known to violently defend their isolation from outsiders. While attempts have been made in the past to contact the Sentinelese, the population stands protected and the island is officially off limits under Indian law. So what business did John Allen Chau have visiting the island at all? Letters and journal entries confirm that he was visiting to attempt converting the Sentinelese people to Christianity. Sample these declarations John made in letters and journal entries right before his death. You guys might think I'm crazy in all this, but I think it's worth it to declare Jesus to these people. Please do not be angry at them or at God if I get killed. The eternal lives of this tribe is at hand, and I can't wait to see them around the throne of God, worshipping in their own language. John had begun visiting the Andaman Islands in 2015. His final visit began in October on a tourist visa. The police say he paid fishermen to take him to the island.
One of the fishermen who saw the John Allen Chau death as alleged by him, as revealed by him, although he saw from a distance, and he arrived at this conclusion by seeing the silhouette, by the clothes, and by the other circumstances, and the feature, bodily features, although from a distance. So taking that prima facie as a first information, so we have registered case of murder and we have taken up the investigation.
What followed was a two-day attempt to establish contact with the Sentinelese people from a fishing boat. His journal showed that first he offered them fish, but was chased back to his boat by young Sentinelese with bows and arrows. This continued for 2 days until the fishermen observed John's body being dragged on the beach after he was...
What'd you do?
I just took.
So much for that. So you guys got that and seen what was going on here.
And she said,
all right.
Just playing with that. I said, all right. First I said, I thought you was going to. And she said, did I really?
And so this guy was going to an island that was illegal. He tried to say like he knew that, like basically he knew he wasn't supposed to be, and he still decided to go anyway. He got warning the first time, left, and then came back again. And he still wanted to go on this island, and nobody gave him permission to do so. All right. So there you have it, folks.
You're now rocking with the best thoughts of the week.
So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, before we get out of here, I want to thank y'all for watching and checking out the show. All right. Be sure you guys want to learn how to start a podcast. Check out the book coming up in January the 1st of 2019. It's How to Start Easy, How to Start a Podcast Real Easy. Be sure to get that book in Amazon. All right. Just type in the title and that book will show up for your Amazon Kindle. All right. So be sure to get that. And again, like I said, folks, we appreciate you watching the show. For those who listen to the show, definitely thank you for listening. We are on Radio Public, Overcast, Anchor, Google Podcasts, Google Play Music, Spotify, Breaker. There's another one. I think Apple Podcasts. Of course, when we're on live, you want to see me and watch me live, I'm on YouTube and Facebook as well. You can go to Twitter as well and check out the show. And most definitely, we thank you for coming in. All right. So with that being said, I appreciate you guys once again. We're going to get on out of here, man. All right. You guys be sure to check out the show. I try to be on most time around 1. Sometimes, like I said, there was a lot of difficulties going on trying to even get the show to go and be on. And so it's a lot of problems trying to get on the show, man. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you guys again, and I'm gonna get on out of here. All right, we'll see you again. Peace.